I'm being a
Listen
cop
to me.
now. I'm here.
I
I'm
offered
asking
you a
for some
chance.
help. I need to do something
Listen
for you.
to-
I need to do this for
Listen to
myself.
me, you deaf fuck. I offered you a chance when we could have done something. I offered you a chance to be a cop, and you blew it. You blew it.
Hello everyone, I'm Johnny and today we're taking a look at Copland from the 1990s. This is a movie I've been wanting to watch for a long time, but the mixed reviews kind of kept me away. After watching it, I do think it's a good movie and well worth taking a look at. The movie's focus is police corruption, something I'm personally interested in, so I'm going to be talking a lot about that as well as reviewing the movie. So let's take a look. Copland takes place in New York and in a small town in New Jersey in the 90s where many New York cops, particularly corrupt ones, live, a so-called Copland. The local sheriff of this town is Freddie Heflin, played by Sylvester Stallone. It's a bit of a joke of a position as no overt crime takes place in this town. Freddie, like the cops in Copland, enjoys a number of liberties. Driving drunk in the police cruiser, for example, seems to not bother anyone. The movie opens with an intense and interesting scene. A young hero cop is driving home drunk and off duty. He is sideswiped by two young black Americans. He pursues them, flashes his badge, and one of them subsequently makes a threatening gesture at him with a wheel lock. He mistakes it for a gun after his tire blows out. Following this, our young cop shoots at the car speeding away, killing both black men. It's a great scene because it's right in the perfect gray area. The cop might just have a defendable case. He is the only witness alive, and it's unlikely any of his buddy cops around were going to breathalyze him. But it's decided by several of his associates that it's best to plant a gun to have a solid defense. This event kickstarts the whole story.
Ooh, baby. Hey, we got it. Look at that, huh? We got it.
To appreciate this movie, it's really important to have an understanding of police corruption in the 1990s, particularly in New York. Police corruption back then was a lot different than it is now. The average New York cop in the 90s was underpaid, making around $30,000 a year. They were also less likely to have a college education. The force was highly homogeneous, made up of mostly white males who had a strong us versus them mentality. Some of these men looked out for each other as their number one priority, with serving the community secondary to this. Even the New York Police Union in the 90s operated in a menacing way and could disrupt political campaigns and interfere with internal investigations. The Police Benevolent Association of the City of New York is the largest municipal police union in the world. Even today, the union still receives criticism for having too much political power. New York has a particularly famous history of police corruption. One case that unfolded between 1992 and 1995, known as the Dirty 30, saw 33 officers arrested for extortion, drug dealing, and theft. But much corruption during this time was protected by the so-called Blue Wall of Silence, an informal code amongst police officers not to report misconduct or crimes committed by their colleagues. A universal theme in this movie. The movie doesn't focus on any specific historical corruption case, nor does it represent the majority of hardworking, honest police, or New York police. However, it does establish well the culture of corrupt boys' club police agencies in a way that is believable and historically supported through the testimony of cops and victims who lived and worked during that era of policing. One of the most grounded scenes in the movie is when Stallone's partner, a small-town female sheriff, pulls over an off-duty New York cop. They naturally give her a sexist and hard time. These sorts of events took place all the time in the 90s, and still do to some degree, though sexism isn't as tolerated as much as it was back then. Cops showing badges to get out of tickets happens all the time, and it's the first slip on the slippery slope of corruption.
We didn't recognize
Come
you.
on, Freddie, I want to go home. Tell this cupcake to heal.
Okay, that's not necessary.
Cindy.
There are a few more real and powerful scenes showcasing the grays of police corruption. If a dirty cop feels a cop is too clean, potentially a so-called rat, or doesn't belong for whatever reason, they might try to isolate that cop. This can also apply to support staff and other services like paramedics. This sort of isolation again is a slippery slope because it can lead to things like slower response times in an emergency while waiting for backup, which is a big deal out on the streets. There is substantial testimony from isolated cops who have even avoided calling for backup, fearing they might be bullied for not being able to handle a call on their own. As such, fitting in is everything, and a good cop who finds himself surrounded by bad cops can find himself in a dangerous situation if they don't conform. The story overall in Copland is okay. It's the climate and setting that carries the movie. The film seems to touch on almost every negative thing about being a cop, even the higher statistics for alcoholism, divorce, and even some forms of domestic violence. There's a long history of spousal abuse calls being handled amongst cops, off the record. One of the reasons the movie falls a little flat is that it's hard to go into it without high expectations due to the incredible cast. Stallone is good but not challenged, playing a fairly simple character, though he plays it well. De Niro could have made a great internal affairs officer, but he simply doesn't get enough screen time. The end scene of the movie also gave me mixed feelings. It's a great shootout, well directed and suspenseful. It just seems odd that all these cops, corrupt or otherwise, who spent their lives trying to hide their dirty secrets, would let the situation escalate so quickly. Even Stallone, a simple hero, sure, but he couldn't think of any way to safely transport his witness. America has more law enforcement agencies than anywhere else in the world. Make some calls for help, man. So again, I enjoyed the shootout at the end of the movie. It just seemed shoehorned into the storyline for the sake of having a shootout. To wrap things up historically, New York's solution to law enforcement corruption was to attempt to hire more diverse and educated cops, and most importantly, pay cops so well that corruption simply isn't worth it. Many New York cops make a base salary around $135,000 a year and retire with pensions worth $3 to $4 million after only 20 years of service. It's hard for organized crime to beat that. Another thing that has really changed in modern times is paid leaves. If a cop is bullied or suspected of being a bully or corrupt in any way, boom, paid leave, full salary. These salaries aren't even paid back if found guilty of anything. Police agencies don't even disclose the number of paid leaves ongoing at any given time, or the results of paid leave investigations. It's been an effective tool, but an extremely costly one in modern policing. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. Do check out Copland if you want a good sense of what it might have been like to have been a good cop amongst some corrupt cops. It does capture the atmosphere really well. I can't say it's as good of a movie as, say, The Departed, but still definitely well worth checking out. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, do like and subscribe and all that stuff. And most importantly, do have a nice rest of your day.